homosexuality, what causes male homosexuality, what creates them is the mental, uh, it's a learned behavior. It's a behavior that as a young boy you learn to identify with being more like your mother than like your father. Where a father is absent in his sons' lives, a lot of single mothers uh, create their sons become homosexuals because there was never their father in their lives. There was never any manly influence in the young boy's life. And homosexuality is mentally learned. It's a failure on the part of a father to uh, befriend his young 18-month-old son, and from that age up to around 12, um, homosexuality is a learned behavior that is normally learned by the time they are 13, puberty, when they start experimenting sexually around 13 years old, 10 to 13. Uh, it's a learned behavior, and what happens is young boys have no connection with men. That's like they do not know how to be men. All they've learned how to be is like sister or like mommy and like the women. And this is who they bond with. This is what's so bad about single mothers raising boys, especially if there's nothing but sisters in the house. There is no men for them to bond with. Many times when they go to schools, they cannot bond with a male teacher. They do not bond with other male boys who are rough and tough and tumble, but they bond with the women, the girls in school, and they become effeminate. So quite naturally, because they have mentally become effeminate, when they began experimenting sexually, their mindset is that they are like women, and therefore they find an attraction to the strong boys. They've always needed a strong father, and they've always needed a manly friend and influence in their life, and they've never had that, so they, being effeminized by being under mother's dress, they learn to have an attraction sexually for men. It's as if they are crying out for father, for their dad, crying out for this manhood that they was never allowed to be, never allowed to grasp and bond with. And this is the basic core of what creates homosexuals. Now, your homosexual activists claim that homosexuals are born that way and somehow physiologically they're feminine. It has nothing to do with femininity. In fact, homosexuality is not, if that mindset is not set by the time a kid is 13 years of age, then even if he experiments with homosexual behavior in his teen years, or even if he has had experienced homosexual behavior as an adult, if he had bonded with men as a young boy, as a young man, a young kid under the age of 12, if he bonded with them and he became more manly than he was woman, then even those experiences can be blowed off. That's like a guy going to prison, a young kid, and being raped by a gang of homosexual predators in the prison system, and that's not going to turn him into a homosexual. He he could be raped in the rear end by 6 homosexual pedophiles, and still this is not going to make him a homosexual, because homosexuality is a learned behavior, and it's learned before the age of 13, from 13 all the way down to 18 months. Now, the homosexual activists, oh, they argue against this. No, no, no. We want to go in the schools, they say, and we want to tell the young boys, you might be born with effeminate behaviors, and that's because you should have been a girl, and they try to say that this is quite natural to be like this. It's not natural. It's a learned behavior, and they have to learn to be feminine and instead of learning to be a man.